Hey guys, it's a beautiful day. We haven't had too many of them lately, so let me just show you how pretty it is outside. Woo! Spring. And apparently it's supposed to pretty much rain for like the next 2 weeks. So I thought I would take this opportunity that I'm feeling good. I actually have some makeup on to go over something that I was Googling when I was first getting chickens. Now, I'm definitely not a chicken pro, but I've now had them for a month, so I want to just tell you how to set up a brooder. This is embarrassing, but this needs to be cleaned. But we started out with just like a bin like this, and that was the perfect size for the chicks, probably for a good week. Yeah, I would say this was good for them when they were really small. Going back now, I wouldn't do this because I had to change it in a week, and it was an easy change. It wasn't like a big fix, but still I had to change it. So what I would do is have someone you know that can easily put together a box with wood. You can even do it with cardboard or anything. And I'll show you the size of our brooder. And the chickens are 1 month now, and I wouldn't put them in anything smaller than this. I think this is a good size. Ours was made from cornhole boards and some wood. But honestly, if you just have some wood and you can hammer some things together, if you make something this big, I think that's a good size for 8 chickens, I have to say too. It depends on how many you have, but we have 8 chickens. And now I feel like I wish it was warmer outside, because if we got these a little bit later, it would be a good time to start getting them outside, but it's still pretty cold. This is the size it is. And what I would do is I would just put some wood inside of it. If you can figure out how to do that and keep it safe, maybe put a big rock on both sides so that the little chicks are in a small section, and then as they get bigger you could take one out, and then as they get bigger you could take another one out. So what we did was we built this half the size, and then it was easy for Colby to do it actually. He just took out some of the screws and then made it longer and then screwed it back in. It was actually not a mess. We didn't have to take them out or anything. I would definitely say to start bigger than you think that you're gonna need. I'm hoping to get the chicks outside today too. I did not realize how dusty it was going to be, and I don't know if it's just from the pine or if it's from their food. It's probably a combination of everything, but I like fully cleaned and mopped and cleaned everything just 2 days ago. You can just see how much dust is on this. So the reason we chose to have them in our house, well, one, it was too cold. The garage is just as cold as it is outside. But if you get them later, we're outside of Philadelphia. We ended up getting them in the beginning of March, and it was cold. So it was too cold for them to be in our garage even. But a lot of people do keep them in their garage with a heat lamp. I just didn't feel comfortable with that. So maybe just like a part of your house. That's you. You're literally barking at yourself. Come on. Bowie, come on. Get them later in the year when you know by about a month you're going to be putting them outside. I think that's the best idea. If you can't do that and you're going to get them earlier, just know that you are going to sacrifice a little bit of your house. Maybe a room that you don't use that much. Maybe it's the laundry room, because things are going to get dusty. Alright, so the second thing that you need, other than the big brooder and deciding what you're going to keep them in, is to have a heat lamp. So they actually make these little electric ones that you plug in, and the chicks can just run underneath of them and keep warm just like they would if it was their mama hen. But we just got the cheap version, the light, which I showed you that was dusty. This is our dusty lamp, and it's not on right now, but you just need that. Let's just use this, even though it's dirty and gross. You would want the lamp to only be on one side, so that if the chicks are warm, they can go to one side and they can get cozy warm. And if they are too hot, they have somewhere to go so that they're not being cooked. So you definitely want to have it on only facing half of the brooder. And then on the other half is where you want to put their food and water. When you first get the chicks, you need to dip their little beaks in the water so they can see where it is. And what I saw somebody said is that a lot of times chicks are so tired, it's actually really cute. It's my favorite part of having chickens so far, is like the first day when they would just fall asleep everywhere. Did we lose Bowie?
He's up there.
Okay. So the chickens, you have to dip their little beaks in the water, and then they know where the water is. But we also would put rocks in the water so that they wouldn't drown in there. When we first got the chicks, I just put like a little cup of water out so that they could immediately get a drink and know where it was. I also put their water feeder in, and once they started using the water feeder and I knew that they knew where it was, I took the cup out because they could drown in that too. I was watching the whole time that they were using the cup. I didn't leave it in there without being in there. As far as the food goes, when you first put the chicks down, maybe what I would do is have pine down, but put a paper towel on top of that and then put the food there just so they can see the food. And you just kind of scatter it all around so that they can get to it right away and they understand what their food is. I immediately put like a little stick in there for them to roost if they wanted to, because I heard that they start roosting on their water bowl and on their food right away, and then they poop in it, which they eventually will just do that anyway because you can't stop them. They're really big, and ours now sit on top of their water and poop in it all the time. We happen to have this chicken coop, but that's obviously not big enough for 8 chickens. Colby's building that one, but this is going to be for if any chickens get sick, then we have somewhere to put them so the other chicks don't pick on them. And then the last thing that I think that you would probably need to know is eventually, probably by 3 weeks, they do start to kind of fly, and you need to cover, or you have a plan on how you're going to cover the brooder. We just had some old screens that we put on top of it. Some people, once they get to the age that they're flying, will change to one of those dog kennels that are made from fabric and they zip on the top, which is really a good idea. I like that too, because it's really big and spacious and it gives them a lot of space. I don't know how they clean it out. Maybe they just kind of shovel it out every now and then. Today I'm going for my first social distance walk. I've been like so strict. I haven't seen my mom or dad, like besides just in their driveway for 2 seconds dropping something off, in a very long time, and I'm missing my mom big time. So I'm gonna go for a walk, the 6 feet apart walk with her today, which I don't know how safe that really is, to be honest with you, but my mom's not sick that I can tell, and we're not sick that I can tell, so we're gonna do it. So we have the chickens out. It's a beautiful day, and I'm just trying to get them used to fresh air. And we have a little deer in the woods. It's a very nice day. I wish all the days could be like this. You guys can see on Lady Lavender, her little comb is starting to turn red. And she has a little bit coming in underneath too. Whoops, there it is. So while the chickens were outside enjoying some sunshine and fresh air, Colby cleaned out the brooder, and we ended up using these little pellets that are made of pine. We actually ran out of the pine chips, and our shipments are so late now, so this is what we're going to use in the meantime. And then he added this feeder just because they go through so much food, and I have to say they really like it. I added some branches for them to perch on, and they seem really happy here. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you got a lot of information from it and it helps you know how to set up your brooder for your baby chicks. If you did, please give it a thumbs up, maybe leave a comment and subscribe. We'd love to see you back.